Hey guys, today we're going to talk about triangles, which is a huge part of the geometry class. We're going to start by just classifying different types of triangles. There's really 6 names that go with triangles, 3 based on sides and 3 based on angles. The first set of triangles we'll talk about are based on sides. An equilateral triangle has all, and this is the symbol for congruent sides. So it would look like this. If I put 3 slashes, that means all 3 of the sides are the same. Isosceles means you have 2 congruent sides. The 2 legs, they call them, are congruent. And then scalene has no congruent sides. So maybe we'll say this one has 1 slash, this one has 2 slashes, this one has 3. Maybe we'll put 2 on this also. Next, angles. Acute means you have all acute angles. And acute means less than 90. So maybe this is 60, 70, and 50. They all have to add up to 180. A right triangle means it has 1 right angle. So maybe this is 90. These two would definitely add up to 90. And obtuse means it has 1 obtuse angle. An obtuse angle is bigger than 90. So maybe you have a triangle that looks like this, and this is 120 degrees. So let's work through some questions. These questions come from pages 284 to 285, just to get you accustomed to working with triangles. Let's start with number 4. Number 4 says, classify each triangle by its angle, measure, and side lengths. So I'll just have you look at it. Number 4 right here has all congruent sides and then 3 acute angles. So this is called an acute equilateral triangle. Equilateral and acute. And again, it looks like this. Has all acute angles, 60, 60, 60, and has all equal sides. What about number 5? Number 5 looks like this. Has 135 here, and then these 3 sides all have different slashes. So the 135 is an obtuse angle, and since all 3 of these sides are different, that's called scalene. Next, for number 6, number 6 looks like this. This is y, this is y, and this is 120. They want you to figure out what y is. Or they're actually asking for angle n. This is n, this is p, and this is q. Now, one thing we can observe here, this is a straight line. Straight line has 180 degrees in it. So this angle is 60. 3 angles in a triangle add up to 180. So y plus 60 would equal 180. So this is 2y plus 60 equals 180. 2y equals 120 by subtracting 60 from both sides. And if you divide both sides by 2, y is 60. Let's check over our work. If each of these are 60, makes sense. 60, 60, 60 adds up to 180. One other thing you can do, if you think about it, these 2 angles here equal the same amount as this. It says right here, 2y is 120. The reason that happens is this angle right here is very popular. it does two things. It adds with the 120 to give you 180, but it also adds with these two y's to give you 180. So basically, this 120 and these two y's are equal because they both add with this angle to give you 180. Let's try another one. This is number 7. Number 7 says in triangle LMN, L is 8x, M is 2x plus 1, and N is 6x minus 1. In this question, all three of these angles are basically going to add up to 180. So we just make an equation we solve. Combine like terms, 8x, 2x, and 6x is 16x. The minus 1 and the plus 1 cancel, equals 180. Divide both sides by 16. X is, I think this comes out to be a decimal. Let's see, 180 divided by 16. Yep, 11.25. Now if you feel skeptical about that, plug in 11.25 in for all these x's, and these three angles should add up to 180. All right, let's try a couple more questions over on page 285. On 285, let me flip this page here. On 285, the question asks you for number 8 and 9, triangle PQR is congruent to triangle XYZ. Let me write this down. Triangle PQR is congruent to triangle XYZ. What that means is the order is super important. When you draw a triangle PQR, if you draw it like this, the P is corresponding with the X. So since we put the P at the top of our picture, we should do the same thing for the X. And the Q and the Y correspond, so Q and Y. So what that means is, since these triangles are congruent, these angles would be congruent. And the same thing with R and Z. Oops. Also, the sides of this triangle would be congruent to those sides. So PQ, and XY. The order is really important. These would be congruent. And these bottom two would be congruent. And the right side would be congruent. So then, by knowing that, it makes the question pretty easy. PR is congruent to what? PR is the right side of our picture. It's congruent to XZ. Based on how they're lining up. What about angle Y? Angle Y would be congruent to, Y is on the bottom left, it's congruent to the bottom left. This is number 9. Let's do a couple more. Number 10. So we have one more picture. It says find, these triangles are congruent, so it says find X. Let me take a few moments to draw this picture out for us. So it kind of looks like this, like a parallelogram, A, D, B, C. This is 47. This is 3y plus 1. This is 2x minus 3. And this is 15 minus 4y. Now, read this very carefully. It says triangle ABC is congruent to triangle CDA. So AB, first two letters here, is congruent to CD. AB is congruent to CD. BC is congruent to DA. These would be congruent. A and C would be congruent, and so on. So I think we should start by making an equation we know that A, B, and C, D are congruent. 15 minus 4y equals 3y plus 1. We could solve this. Add 4y to both sides. Subtract 1. Y is 2. And let's check that. When you plug 2 in, 3 times 2 is 6 plus 1 would be 7. 4 times 2 is 8. 15 minus 8 is also 7. Now here's something that we learned a couple lessons ago. In this picture, this top and this bottom, oh, actually, let's do something else. This angle here, angle A, is congruent to this angle here, angle C. So 2x minus 3, because this is the first letters in each one of these. So 2x minus 3 equals 47. So we could add 3 and then divide both sides by 2. So x is 25. So give this a try on your own, guys, and let me know if you have any questions.